Hollywood was shocked by the sudden passing of Luke Perry last week. The celebrated actor was best known for his work on Beverly Hills 90210, and over the 7 days, his castmates from the show have sent an outpouring of love for the icon.
Christine Elise was one of Luke's co-stars on the iconic teen drama. The actress was due to join us last week under much happier circumstances, but after the sad news broke, she rightfully took the time to mourn her friend. This morning, we're delighted to have Elise on the show for a look back at her life in the spotlight and to pay tribute to Luke Perry. Christine Elise played one of the most feisty Beverly Hills 90210 characters in the show's history, crashing through the school gates as hotshot Emily Valentine.
Any survival tips?
Stay away from the meatloaf.
Any a little more relevant?
I wouldn't worry about it. You're gonna love West Beverly. I can tell already. You're gonna fit in just fine.
She scored a date with Luke Perry's character, Dylan McKay, in her very first episode.
Welcome to LA.
Wow. Spectacular.
You're pretty spectacular, too.
The storylines were high stakes for the tumultuous teen, love triangles, stalking,
Damn it, Emily, enough!
even substance abuse.
This place is tough. You all made it easier. But, gotta admit, I need some help.
Behind the scenes, Christine's love life stayed in the 90210 zip code, having a 5-year relationship with co-star Jason Priestley.
This is the love of your life?
Yeah.
You are absolutely in love with him. Now, you are ready to give up all the other women? I gave it up a long time ago.
27 years on, and the actress remains a small and silver screen favourite. But away from the spotlight, Christine indulges in a scrumptious side project as the face of successful vegan blog Delightful, Delicious, Delovely.
Insane.
And we welcome Christine Elise live from LA. Good morning to you. Now, you're joining us under these sad circumstances, of course, with the passing of Luke Perry. You posted some memories with Luke. It comes as no surprise to you, of course, this outpouring of grief from his stars, from his co-stars. He sounded like such a great guy.
He was a great guy, I think, by all accounts. Anybody that knew Luke at all loved him. You just couldn't feel any other way.
Yeah. What did you speak to Luke about last time you saw him? Can you remember?
Yeah, actually, I hadn't seen him for 2 years. Last time I saw him was in Chicago at a convention, and I do a lot of dog rescue. I foster dogs and I adopt dogs, and I work in dog rescue, and I found out that Luke is sort of involved in boxer rescue here in LA, and so we talked about dogs and dog rescue.
Christine, just you're clearly upset that the vision we just ran in the introduction, it's still pretty raw for you, right?
Yeah, it's an odd thing because Luke is not somebody who's in my everyday life, so him being missing he's not missing from my everyday experience, and so it's one of those things that sort of is surreal and only hits you occasionally when you think, when you let yourself think, when I see Luke next, and then you realize you won't be seeing him again. So.
Yeah. In your time on the show, your character actually got to date Dylan, Luke's character. What was it like on set during those times, Christine?
It was really fun. It was really exciting. The show was huge. It was a huge phenomenon, and it was pretty early in my career, so it was exciting for me. And those guys are ridiculously cute, and I got to work with them both. And I'd be a jerk if I complained about it. They're both lovely guys too. Luke and Jason are both awesome.
Yeah. Now, of course, you played Emily Valentine, one of the most recognisable characters on the show, but she was almost very different. Tell us about how your audition helped shape the character.
The character was initially conceived as being a more Julia Roberts type with cascading long red hair and like drop dead gorgeous, like stop traffic, beautiful. None of that, neither of those things describe me. And she also sang and played guitar and rode a motorcycle, none of which I can do. So all I could do was go in as myself, and I went in an outfit they actually had me wear on the show, and I sang "Breaking Up Is Hard to Do." I wore that leather biker hat and that pink sort of baby doll top with my engineer boots, and they changed the character to be, at least fashion-wise, to be me.
Because you had teenage girls around the world copying that hairstyle. You do know that, don't you, Christine?
I did not know that. I took a lot of flack for that hair. I didn't imagine anybody wanted to copy it.
No, well, our breakfast host, Samantha Armitage, actually told the viewers this morning that that's how she wanted to wear her hair to her high school prom, what you would call a prom, and yeah, her mum wouldn't let her, but yeah, everyone loved that hair. The show made some...
I've heard more stories about...
So go ahead.
I've had more talk about Halloween costumes involving that hair, Halloween rather than proms. But so I'm happy to hear somebody actually liked it.
Yeah, she sure did. The show made plenty of headlines too because it was so popular. Lots of rumours used to abound on this set. Did you ever witness any bad behaviour behind the scenes?
You know, no, I did not. And what's fascinating to me is that the question I get asked the most often 25 years later, that people are so fascinated by the behavior of a handful of 20-year-olds 25 years ago, that it's still such a tempting topic to bring up. Really, I saw nothing bad. And it was a job for me, and I showed up for work, and I did my job, and then I went home.
Okay. Well, you took something with you because during that time you also fell in love with,
I did.
in real life with Jason. I'm going home, but I'm taking Jason Priestley with me.
Brandon is coming.
I did do that.
Now, he was one of the biggest stars of the time, and in the 5 years that you guys were together, and keeping in mind it was before social media, so attention was different, but there were lots of glossy mags and all sorts of gossip. How did you deal with all that media attention at the time?
Honestly, there wasn't that much media attention because there was no social media and the TMZ didn't exist, and sort of the big machine that is gossip television wasn't in gear yet. And we didn't, like, only once were the people outside of our house, and one time Hard Copy, a show called Hard Copy here, staked the house out, and I was closing the house up to hide from them, and they ran a story that I was closing my house up to hide from fans that were angry that I was dating Jason, which in fact was not the truth. Not the truth at all. They created a situation and they wrote a scenario or a narrative to match what they wanted to say. So there was not a lot, and whatever attention there really was on Jason. So I had a sort of front row seat to learn how to gracefully handle attention when you don't want it, or when it's uncomfortable, or when it's intrusive.
And we've just heard in the last week or so about the 90210 reboot. Yeah, is that something you'd be interested in getting involved in, or?
I would be very happy if they called me. My answer would be absolutely a resounding yes. I would love to go back. That was a great time in my life. I love those people, and it would be really fun. I would love to go back.
Okay, but now you probably ride a motorbike and can play a guitar, right? No.
No, and I can't sing any better either.
Now, one of your exciting side projects is your food blog. What made you decide that you wanted to pursue vegan cooking?
I gave up meat in the 80s. In the 80s, I was sort of aspired to be a vegetarian, but I hadn't gotten it together to do so yet. And I was renting a house that had a little chicken coop in the backyard. So my boyfriend at the time and I decided we'd raise these chickens and eat their eggs. And before the chickens were able to mature to the egg-laying stage of their lives, coyotes in my neighborhood killed them. And I was devastated by this. And I came into the house crying and said, "No chicken will ever again die for me." And I gave up meat that day in the 80s. And so that's been, I was a pescatarian though, which means I ate seafood. But about 3 years ago, I decided that I didn't need seafood anymore. The oceans are overfished, and it just felt like I needed to make the next step. I had already had a food blog by the same name, Delightful, Delicious, Delovely, just a written blog, and I felt that after like 4 years of that, it felt stagnant, so I decided to, you know, since I was changing to eating vegan anyway, to sort of step it up and do a channel on YouTube, and so that's what I did.
Okay, looks delicious. Delightful, delicious, and
Those
lovely.
weren't pretty pictures.
Yeah.
Those were not pretty pictures of food. You have to go into the blog and see my stuff on Pinterest. The food actually is beautiful.
Oh, I imagine it is. It's been lovely speaking to you, Christine, this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely to
Thank
catch
you.
up.
Thanks for
and hear all those
coming in.
Beautiful,
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful memories.
Okay.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you.
Well, coming up in the next...